Pleasant, good day. Welcome to yet another stimulating discussion here on the Hustlers Radio program. This is the program today in the House of Representatives. It is an Avalon program that highlights activities from up Capitol Hill, making you Liberians to hear and know what your lawmakers are doing in the best interest of this country called Liberia. Of course, this program brings around the table hardcore issues emanating from Capitol Hill. It's on Elbc every Thursday at about this time up to 6 o'clock. It's been relayed on the following stations: Radio Farmington 87.7 megahertz in Margibi County, The Voice of Hope in Plebo District, Maryland County. It's being produced and presented by the House Press and Public Affairs Bureau. This program features reports from the House's committee meetings with in-depth interviews and analysis about the country's legislative process. Today is Thursday, it's November 2, 2023. It is the 306th day of the year. There are 59 more days left to close up 2023. 2023 runoff elections, we're counting 12 days to the runoff elections. In Liberia, it's Thanksgiving Day today. It was enacted through an act of legislation in 1883, making the first Thursday of November to be celebrated at Thanksgiving Day. Welcome to the program. My name is Robert Haynes. I'm here along with.
Well, my name is Wokwed Yeager.
You look very elegant on Thanksgiving. By the way, happy Thanksgiving.
Many return. And it's good being here.
Wonderful. Every time we have to do what we have to do in the interest of this country to get the public informed about activities happening up Capitol Hill. We're taking a few bites of our theme song. We'll be back and give you those things lined up. Too many things to talk about, especially so at this point. So let's take a few bites of the theme song. We're back shortly.
Audio Jungle.
Welcome back, wherever you are. Great time to be here again. Invite someone to listen along with you, listening to the radio, to hear some of the many good things happening at the House of the House of Laws, right, where the laws making take place. So, Yaka, we're back.
Yes, wonderful. The last time we were here, we promised the public that we will be here again to update them relative to the workings of the Honorary House of Representatives. And interestingly, we enacted this day, and of course, we're here to talk about what's happening on this day relative to the operations of the Honorary House of Representatives.
Right, exactly. So, the House of Representatives are observing the day, Thanksgiving Day, to basically extend warmest greetings and best wishes to all Liberians across the 15 political subdivisions. It is a time to reflect on our collective blessings and express gratitude for our abundance, for the abundance in our lives. In this spirit of thankfulness and unity, the Honorable House of Representatives I would like to convey its heartfelt wishes for a joyous Thanksgiving celebration to all Liberians across the length and breadth of this country. This occasion offers an opportunity for friends, families, and communities to come together, share goodwill, and celebrate the cherished values of harmony and appreciation. Happy Thanksgiving Day. That's a message from the Honorable House of Representatives.
If there are differences, it's always good to unite around these celebrations because it calls for glorifying the Almighty God, where the country has come from, where we're headed as a country and people. So it is always a good thing to put aside our differences and unite for the common good of our country.
Well, I know Liberia being a kind of a dominated Christian state, by the way. So people gather in their worship centers, imams, the Muslims, Islamic people, to give thanks and praises to the Almighty God for sparing our nation and making sure that we are at this point and after 176 years old, and we'll grab it on and moving.
Yes, especially when the proclamation is issued by the chief executive, of course, on the Christian community, in fact, the religious community, of course, to observe this day. I call on Liberians to soberly reflect on where the country has come from and, of course, where we are headed.
Well, quite why in celebration, of course, we're still mourning the Honorable House of Representatives on yesterday. Lying in state was the fallen Deputy Chief Clerk of the Honorable House of Representatives, Honorable J. Safo Jiple. His remains was taken to the Capitol building, of course, as a sign of respect and his service to our nation, and is inscribed to there that we pay homage. So on yesterday, his remains was taken to the Capitol building, lie in state in the rotunda.
His family members were Indian members. They have come to witness what is called the state funeral of a dedicated public servant. And as part of that, when the remains arrived on Capitol Hill, they paraded straight from in front of the executive mansion, straight into the rotunda of the Capitol. And you had lawmakers, you had staffers of the Honorary House of Representatives, you had other, sympathizers who have followed the work of Sefo Jiple, the Deputy Chief Clerk of the Honorary House of Representatives, Indian members. And what an occasion to honor the legacy of a statesman, a man who was dutiful, a man who knew exactly when you talked about the legislature, then he knew what it is about, and so he was always proactive on the job. Not a single day did he put up an excuse. He was always ready to work for the Liberian people, and so just as well, like you said, is always in honor of such a dedicated person who has passed, of course, on yesterday. Again, we were there to say thank you ever so much for the job you've done for this country. History will record whatever were your contributions, and of course, the family members, moan and moan. But again, this is just the will of God, and in these moments, of course, all we can say is to continue praying for the bereaved family, and of course, hope that they can just unite in such a difficult moment.
Right. And so the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dr. Beaufort Chambers, along the Chief Clerk and other members of the legislative body, received the remains of the fallen Deputy Chief Clerk. Of course, like you mentioned, the sorrow, people crying, there were a lot of weeping. Especially so, then we from the Press and Public Affairs Bureau had to play some of the many recording, the readings in
Yes,
the chamber,
as a sign of reflection.
right, and that broke some people down. Decided to weep, and so the speaker emphasized Chief Clerk's exceptional leadership, integrity, and tireless efforts in ensuring that smooth operations went on there in the House of Representatives. So again, to the bereaved family, tomorrow will be the funeral service at the Simosi Funeral Parlors at 10 o'clock in the morning. Following that, entombment will take place at the burial site of Simosis in the Broadville area. Again, our condolences to the bereaved family, friends, professional colleagues for the loss of Honorable J. Safo Jiple.
He was a paragon, in the words of the honorary speaker, Dr. Beaufort Chambers, a man who was dutiful, he was dedicated, he understood the workings of the honorary House of Representatives, and of course, we will truly miss him.
Right. So as it is, again, we're here, the 54th legislature adjourned for runoff, of course, and in keeping with the Constitution of Liberia, that speaks to the presidential elections. When we go to January presidential elections, the Constitution provides that we should have 50% plus one for the presidential ballot. And so that did not take place on the 10th of October. And so the Elections Commission, the body clerk with the authority of handling all election matter in this country, have announced the 14th of November as a runoff. And so the Senate and the Honorable House of Representatives in their regular session adopted a joint resolution LEG 001 3/2023 to adjourn the 54th legislature of the Republic from the 1st of November, that was on yesterday, Wednesday, up to the 20th of November for the purpose of the runoff elections.
Yes, it's in line with the amendment to the Public Financial Management Law. Of course, we amended the Public Financial Management Law, and of course, lawmakers are coming just in what others would term as bit and pieces. Of course, you have the first quarter, you have the second quarter, and this time we have the third quarter, and it happens to be the third and final for the 54th legislature. So, in keeping with the Constitution, whenever you have national elections, of course, you will have members of the legislature participating. Of course, we've completed the legislative component of the elections, but the presidential elections definitely called for campaign activities, and you have whether you come from the governing party or you're from the opposition bloc. All of those lawmakers or stakeholders from the legislature have a stake into the political campaign activities of this country. So, in as much as they are concerned about the political campaign activities, you wouldn't have the lawmakers very proactive,
Right, and especially they
and
coming from
also, yeah,
their various constituencies, and so they have to be able to return,
talk to their
talk to
people.
their people,
Yeah.
get ready for the election. So the resolution comes in the light of the constitutional obligations as outlined in Article 80C of the Liberian Constitution, the 1986 Constitution, which guarantees every Liberian citizen the right to be registered in a constituency and to participate in public elections only within their registered constituency. And so the exercise of the right were witnessed during the recent elections held on the 10th of October 2023. And so the Elections Commission declared a runoff since, in fact, there was no uh, winner in the presidential election in keeping with the Constitution. So the now between the runoff announced by NEC is between two presidential candidates who secured the highest vote cast, as no candidate acquired an absolute majority in the initial ballot, as stipulated in Article 83B of the Constitution. So the legislature recognizing the importance uh, of active participation in the electoral process, especially that members of the 54th legislature registered and voted in their respective constituencies. It is imperative that each lawmaker takes part in the runoff scheduled for November 14. So, on the basis of that, a joint resolution was being signed.
And then they have been fast cited because, of course, you have to allow
And we're
people.
counting
This is
12 days now
yes, this
to
is a
run off.
constitutional right, and Liberians should participate in these processes. That's why it's important that lawmakers will return to talk to the old people and encourage them to also participate. I know for sure there are a couple of lawmakers who have already started talking to the old people to because they raised the issue of these invalid votes,
Mhm.
and so
People
the
got to
lawmakers,
educate.
yes, I lean massive awareness to ensure that during the run of election, you will have people living up to the standards of true democracy and voting properly.
Mm.
So yes, the awareness component is ongoing. Scores of lawmakers taking the bull by the horn. They're engaging their people, talking to their people, and continuing the awareness. And I think it's a good way when you have the people who you're representing. You go back to them and ensure that they will respond in a positive way. They will commensurate with the status. I think it's a good one. So we ought to say thank you to the members of the Honorary House of Representatives, and thanks to the Liberian Senate, because this is a joint resolution. It was done by the Honorary House of Representatives and the Liberian Senate also, because constitutionally the both houses will work in a very coordinated way to ensure that the policies and laws of this country are arranged properly. So yes, it's participatory democracy, and there where we are with the signing of the resolution.
Right, and so with the final section being the third and final section of the legislature, 54th legislature, coming to a close, we'll be basically talking about those key accomplishments or some of the significant bills that made impact and while we go through the program. Because you see, the thing about it is that Liberians, most time we get people say, "Oh, the lawmakers they only over there and they only in their own interests." But look, this 54th legislature, there are several accomplishments. There are key legislations, in part for human sensitive legislations that were enacted. And more of them will happen as this 54th legislature will continue working up to December. And by December, we are going to come to a close of the 54th legislature. And in January, subsequently, God's willing, in January 2024, the 55th legislature will commence the second working Monday in January. So the 54th legislature, if we were to look at some of the key legislations that were enacted, we'll be looking at the dual citizenship bill. We'll be looking at the drugs law. The drugs law. You know, that many times we've spoken and said, look, our brothers and sisters are dying. The way the drugs is treating them. So this legislature, it's a listening legislature. They were able to listen to the cry of the Liberian people and acted on that piece of legislation. Yeah, Yeka.
Yes, the drug law is significant to the progress of this country, developing young people. There are a couple of programs being instituted by the executive to ensuring that, and thanks to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, they've been coordinating those programs very well. The president office has also got involved with championing the cause of young people, especially this encouraging them from getting addicted to drug and other harmful substances. And other civil society organizations joined the fray. There are a couple of joint collaboration to ensure that young people, the lives of young people, are safe, void of drug and other harmful substances. But the way to ensure that it is at the very best peak of discussion is to have a legislation that will go against the consumption, the sale, the importation, whatever is the phrase that you want to use, to have a law that will say no to drug. And so, looking at the significance of such in the Liberian society, the members of the Honorary House of Representatives thought that it was important now to legislate. And of course, a bill was introduced thanks to Representative Thomas Goswai and his colleagues. Of course, when the instrument was introduced, the members of the Honorary House of Representatives treated it with passion. They consider it to be something of real importance, and so they paid all of the attention that they needed to render out such bill. And that instrument, you had stakeholders, because there were consultative meetings ongoing, citizens engagements, all of those engagements were held fruitfully, and people participated on how they wanted the law to be like. You had the joint security also participating, because I know for sure at a certain point I had to follow on, because I was a legislative reporter at that time, following out on some of those conferences. And at the end result, the members of the committee submitted their reports, and recommendations were made for the passage of the law. Today, as and when we talk, we are telling you that the law has been passed, and of course, it was sent to the Liberian Senate. They made some amendments. They were looking at it from another point of view, and then a conference committee was set up. That conference committee concluded all of the different arrangements that they needed to conclude. And of course, it was finally passed and sent to the executive. The president didn't waste no time.
Mm.
He said this is a joint fight by the members of the legislature because they represent the interest of their people.
Right.
And of course, if they could see a human sensitive bill of this kind, passed by both houses, the Liberian Senate and the Honorable House of Representatives, the president thought that it was prudent enough to affix his signature. And since then, the president signed the drug law. So we are definitely making some progress now. Unlike in the past that you had the proliferation of these harmful substances, today you have a very good tracking system thanks to the security network at the Roberts International Airport, because for sure the last time we had a situation here, and they responded effectively. And I think people have understood that it is not just going to be business as usual when you are caught into drug activities. It's going to be somebody signing your bond and your bill and coming out. No, it's not going to be the case any longer. If you get involved into drug activities, then you must be ready. And there's going to be prosecution in line with the laws of this country. So I think that's a good.
To a greater extent,
yeah.
I can say that to a greater extent, this 54th legislature achieved greatly. And so when you hear some people say, "Oh, yeah, our lawmakers go to work Tuesday and Thursday," no, we have explained that Monday is for leadership, Tuesday for session, Wednesdays for committee meeting, Thursdays for session, Friday is constituency day, where you go and visit your lawmaker coming from the district and so forth like that. What are those things expected during this year and final quarter? Of course, yes, the budget will be received, it will be debated upon, and then pass, because we'll now run a calendar year budget instead of before. That
Yeah,
we
the
were
fiscal period where you
right.
had the budget running from June, July, and of course, yes, we have transitioned from this fiscal period now to
Mhm.
a calendar year, and so you have the budget running from January up to December.
Right. So lawmakers, upon resumption after the runoff elections on the 20th, they will come back on the 20th of November. And those things expected to be looked into. Of course, they will look at the budget. There will be other revision of concessions, mineral development agreement. They will be able to review some of them to see if those people are living up to those things they mentioned in their mineral development agreement. But a major amongst them going to be the issue about the budget, to look at the country's national development, how you call it, the
A
yes,
national
the
envelope.
national envelope,
It's a national cake.
right. And so the lawmakers are going to be looking at that upon resumption from the runoff. How prepared? What sort of mechanism the Honorable House of Representatives have put in place? What are the steps they've put in place of taking to guarantee the integrity and transparency of the upcoming runoff elections? Are there other specific legislative measures or initiative that have been implemented to improve the electoral process owing to the runoff elections? Of course, yes, some of those hard questions to be answered.
Yes, that's
As
going to
we
be
go
later
through the
on.
program.
Yes, yeah. But I think that, because the legislature has specifically at the Honor House of Representatives, it has a committee that is clothed with the authority of oversight responsibility. I'm talking about the elections and inauguration committee. Yes, so you talk about the mechanism put in place. I think there are a couple of good working relationship between members of the committee. I'm talking about the committee on elections and inauguration, and that of the National Elections Commission. They've been going back and forth,
Mhm.
and trying to plan appropriate elections for Liberia. So there where we are. So you don't have hitches along. The members of the committee thought that it was important. Sit with the commissioners and let's have a blueprint. Let's submit this blueprint to the government and see how the government is going to facilitate. So every time you hear the National Elections Commission, make a public statement, of course, it's in line with what they've concluded with the legislature. So yes, those mechanisms are in perfect place, and we have a very good collaboration. Like the
Right.
Constitution talks about coordination amongst the three branches of government. So there, in the executive and the legislature is playing his part.
Right. Considering the challenges faced during the just ended October 10 genuine presidential elections, what sort of lessons has the Honorable House of Representatives learned, and what are the adjustments or improvements are being made for the upcoming runoff? We hope to be talking about some of these things as the program goes on. And then in terms of legislative agenda, those things are pending, or the bills that are essential to be addressed in the next term. How are these things going to be prioritized as we go forward? I will also hope to get it going
Yes,
as
yes.
we go on the
But,
program.
but,
So
but,
it's interesting as we hear you.
Yes, Director Haynes, we tried to look at some of what we term as a success story of the 54th legislature, and you just don't want to forget about how the 54th legislature has prioritized education for Liberians to the extent that. Unlike in the past, we were talking about a couple of community colleges across Liberia.
Mhm.
Today, we're at the point of talking about universities across Liberia.
Right.
When you go to Grand Bassa County today, you have a university there. When you're in Magibi, through the likes of Representative Ava Jones,
Mhm.
today you have the Habiel uh, College. Of course, it has been transitioned from a college to a university. Today, you go to Grand Jita County, where Representative George Bully and his colleagues preferred a bill to
The
ensure
Grand
that
Judea
the
Community
community college
College to
was
be
elevated.
university. Right.
Yes. In Lafayette County, we also
Yeah.
talk about the
Right.
transition of a community college there to a university status. You talk about the LACC, you talk about,
Yeah, giving prosecutorial power,
the health
because
sector.
long ago we've been fighting corruption in this country theoretically, calling it all sorts of names, big names. Because I remember under former President Salif, we have called corruption vampire of the Liberian society, enemy number one. All of those names were being given to corruption. It is this 54th legislature that said, look, let us now leave from theoretically fighting corruption to be practical. And that step was to give the LACC prosecutorial power. Now, the new law that been passed, the LACC has two divisions. One is there for investigation, one is there for prosecution. And it has 7 commissioners. Those people, the civil society organization, the Press Union of Liberia, and other donor partners, they recommend names and the president appoint.
And it is this legislature that passed the the Kamara Atula Kamara Ida free speech.
Free speech. So you see, this 54th legislature will go down in history. Will go down in history for the many legislations enacted, human sensitive, that are making impact today as we speak. Today, once a Liberian, always a Liberian. So the dual citizenship
Yeah, the
bill
dual citizenship bill.
was being enacted. It's been signed by the president. So you see, this 54th legislature, they had a very good success story. And that's why we are here to be able to explain some of them. Again, our brothers and sisters, you are out there and you think that, okay, if a lawmaker, like, of course, yes, we have to go to elections every after 6 years. All right. That's why guys, last time he was explaining to you that every year is another section.
Yes.
Every year is another section. That's why this now we have the 6. This is a 6. All right. Which is the last. The
When you
final and
elect the
last.
lawmakers and they come to Capitol Hill, they come for 6 years. Each year will constitute one of what we term as a session.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is the point now that we are. So some of you think that because some of the lawmakers have gone to elections and they now win, so they ain't working again.
No, it's absolutely wrong.
They're still
Read the
working all the way
Constitution.
up to December.
In fact, everything remain in full swing. The leadership of the legislature is still in full swing.
Exactly.
I
this,
don't know,
this
but
54th legislature will expire in December. In December.
And they are going to pass the budget.
Of course, yes. They are going to now sit and debate the budget. So it's education again. We have to be able to provide that for the public so that
So
we go
let me
through.
say that. Let me say that. Maybe I say that in a very common way so that we understand. My people, those of you who are listening to the radio, you know, sometimes when you hear the people talk about they sitting there, listen to the program so that you'll be educated about this program, informed about what's happening on Capitol Hill. We're saying to you after the election on October 10, whether you elected one lawmaker and he went back for re-election and that lawmaker didn't win election, and that means that person that lawmaker again. What we can tell you is that that person still lawmaker because their term will finish in December. The 6 year power what you give them, that 6 year power it will finish way in December. So we'll get end of November. So the people still lawmaker. The whole
In fact, they
leadership,
get more work to do. They
the
have to be able
whole
to even pass
leadership.
the budget for 2024.
Yeah, the new budget, our national cake, the envelope, the play
And the
what they will say.
reason and the reason why it like that, it was because of some adjustment made. There were amendment made to our public financial management law.
Yeah, the law where we get for money matter bene, that law. They say let's look at the law small and make some changes into it. So before now, we used to be talking about our money bene, budget bene. We used to be talking about June, July, June, and all that kind of stuff and thing. But the person said no. Say we can start a year. Everybody start celebrating New Year Day from January. So let's do the budget so that we will start from January, it will run all the way to December. So now the high is here, it's going all the way to December. So when you listen to the radio and you hear all the people in there, journalists, people in there say, oh, I will not call the person here by their position because maybe the person go to election and they now win. No, then you're not doing the real thing. The real thing is that the people they stay lawmaker until December. Then the new people now who you now put in power
in January now.
January at the time they will sit down in a chair.
The
When they
second
sit down in a
working
chair,
Monday in
January, the second
will
working
come.
Monday, then they will go to Capitol Hill. Then the people there now who lost the election on October 10, then they will not be lawmaker again. Then Balata now you ready to call them former representative. But for now, you can't call them former representative. They stay representative until December when they end. Then all of them will say our time finish. Then their time finish.
Then 54th now, the 54th
They will close it.
legislature
They will close it.
Be finished now.
Then there will be a former lawmaker.
So then in January now,
then you get the new people.
They can't. There will be 55th legislature.
Every time they say you're finish, one number can ask. So they started it from number 1. Today now we're talking about 54. You see, last time we were talking here, we had the 53. The 53 is finished. Then the 54th kind of after the 6 year period finish. Then you can be happy.
The 54th started in 2018. All right. Because we went to elections in 2017. And then the people who won the election, they took office
in January.
In January of 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
And see, so the high looking my people. So don't be calling some lawmaker, former lawmaker. No.
Yeah, even the journalists into making you. When you write in the news, the people are still lawmakers.
So to talk about some of these things, like we mentioned, as we go towards the process of a runoff, that the closure, let's talk to House Speaker Dr. Beaufort Chambers. He's joining us on this Thanksgiving Day. He's a workaholic. Imagine Thanksgiving Day. He's up
on a holiday here.
Mr. Speaker, happy Thanksgiving Day.
Well, thank you very much to our wonderful people of Liberia, to the courageous and resilient people of the Honorable House of Representatives and members of the legislature, all well-intentioned Liberians. Those visiting, we want to wish everyone a kind of a happy Thanksgiving Day. Though, of course, there were other things we needed to do, so we were at the office for a few hours today. But that is the assigned task given to us. So we have to fulfill those assignments as beautifully as possible. I want to also thank my staffers for being dedicated. That said, I also want to thank you for still coming to use this platform to propagate the workings of the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, and also to give thanks to God. We are grateful to the Almighty, the divine arbiter of all human events, who have made it possible for Liberia to reach this level. I want to also thank our predecessors, who have made this day a reality. Legislation in 1883 was crafted in order for us to pay homage to our divine author of everything. So we are pleased today to express and extend to all a warm, independent.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You are a workaholic speaker working this time, stay at your office. Of course, again, two dedicated staff coming up. But let's talk. You joined on yesterday, signing a joint resolution with the Senate and the House for runoff. You want to elaborate and tell us, well, why is it important at this time?
Well, it's the franchise that people have to exercise: political franchise, democratic franchise, constitutional franchise. People have to vote for those they think are able to steer the ship of state. So everybody has been given that opportunity, and the lawmakers, who I will call the tribunes, also are on an obligation to exercise such constitutional duty. That said, we are pleased that our Senate colleague concur with what we did, so as to allow this to be implemented. The conduct of the elections will be good for all of us, so that we will have a Liberia that we all aspire or ascribe to.
Now, the runoff elections are on the horizon. What are the key focuses or priorities for the legislature or the legislature ensuring to have a free, a fair, and smooth electoral process?
Well, of course, there will be gaps, there will be weaknesses in some of the persons that will be conducting such a kind of delicate responsibility. Notwithstanding, the overarching aspect is that you have a high caliber of people who are also committed to the cause. That is why corrections are always made, and their punitive measures are always taken to those violators. So we have explicit confidence in the workings of that body. In every area there will be some people who will not want to allow themselves to play by the rules. And sometimes too, in areas you have snologosters who will always want to be that with people who cannot be trusted. And so you have all of these things because of, that's the human nature. Good will be good and bad will be bad. But we pray that all will go well, and that, what will be the result. Liberia should enjoy that dividend, that real dividend of peace, and that real dividend of transparency and accountability. That said, we want to tell our people, because there will be people who will be provocateurs. There will be people who will want to cause chaos. And we also are kind of, we've experienced those things. But we want to urge all of those persons who are well-intentioned, the patriotic people, to not seek revenge, but take the course or path of the law. They should be reminded that the rotten fruits shall fall, whatever it is. But they should not they should not be the ones to make those rotten fruits fall. Because, the tree of victory is riding high. And so you will find people always want to create chaos and disturbances. But I want to urge them to always be positive, because positivity is contagious. So as they remain positive, good things will happen. And then the law will serve in terms of rectifying anything. I know my people are people, I will call them rational judges. They are people with clear minds and clear thinking. They are analytical and they are intelligent. So they will always do what is required of them. I trust them. I have so much regards for them, and they have always been there to satisfy that which is expected of them. And because that area is strategically placed, I want to say to them, they should remain steadfast, keep their eyes on the prize, and victory will be that which they all will benefit. And you will find a transformed Liberia, and you'll find a kind of, I would say, Liberia that will be raising to Olympian heights under the stewardship of, I would say President Weah, because he's doing well. And I know that whole spirit of consistency, that whole spirit of retention, will be there. And there's no way it can stop because he beat all odds. You find him going in all nook and corners of the country. He travel, under adverse conditions, and because you were there, and he plunged himself in those environments, in those communities. So he's self-abnegating. He one who sacrifices for many. So I want our people to know that all will be well. But again, when we shall have returned, those issues that have to do with the welfare of the people, concessions, meeting up with their obligations, the end of the bargain, will be looked at critically.
And some new people to get on the payroll as intimated by the president.
Yes,
you have the appropriating power.
Yes. All of those things will be considered. Those persons who were volunteers, be it a teacher, be it health workers, they will be considered and absorbed. And the work will be very meticulous, will painstakingly work to ensure that happens. So the budget will be critically analyzed so that our people can benefit from the resources of this land. Liberia is endowed with so many things. But again, the challenges have been global challenges, global economic challenges. But we work together to find a way. There will always be a way. Once God is involved, there will always be a way. So we want to assure our people that are there will be coming also to exercise our franchise. Will be coming to motivate them. We know that 77% thereabout was provided to the CDC that we are part of. We know that we will come, it may excel to the high 80s, if not 90s, but we'll do our best because I think, we have only one choice, and that choice is victory for His Excellency the President.
Is it a message of hope for the people of Plebo Southern District that you normally call the New Jerusalem before we leave you?
Well, I want to assure them that with all that is happening, as I told them, never seek revenge and allow rotting fruits to fall by themselves. As the elections have gone, we have all necessary pieces of evidence to prove otherwise, to make our people vote count. That is, I'm not National Elections Commission to announce anything, but I will tell you that the vote that we have, they are sufficient to make us the winners. And all of those things that have been observed will be scrapped, and then they will have, their most respectful servants, their most humble servant, Prophet Jimus, coming down to give them what they deserve. Because I said, people will now be the same. People has a match in the world. We want to be the best that we can be as people of Plebo Southern District, and we help to build a stronger foundation for Liberia. All of these things you see happening so is that because of jealousy and envy. So you find hypocrites and parasites, going all around to undermine the growth of Plebo. The people of Plebo, they are wise people. That's why I always call them the few of the best in the world. So I know they have peers, but they are people that I must assure them that all will be well, will be coming back to Maryland County, will be coming back to Plebo. Those persons you see running up and down, leave them alone. Their sins will find them out. I know our people are law-abiding people. They are people who have a very high sense of caring, honesty, accountability, promise-keeping, excellence, and loyalty. So these are people certainly that I would like to always be with. As I said, and I will say again and maintain, these are people that I will retire with. I will stay with them, and we'll all see the new generation of the Boyans coming to to serve this country in any capacity, because Plibo has the best. Imagine in the history of Plibo, there are two things that happened. I was there when Plibo became the champions of Maryland County the first time in the existence of Plibo, and I was the captain long time ago. And now you find the first time in the history of this republic, you find Liberian young children representing Liberia. Plibo students, the best of the best. They left Plibo and they were honoring the brand of Team Liberia to represent this republic in some international competition, that which require mathematics, that which requires science, technology. And these children, ranging from 10 to 11, participated amongst about 100, I believe 94 countries. And they came 12th in the world. Never has that happened in the Republic of Liberia's history. Also in Africa, they came second. So there are good things in Plibo. So when we say Plibo is the New Jerusalem, we mean well. And today, I will proudly say the library that has been erected, public library, is the best in the Republic. So people may not want to accept the reality. And mind you, Plibo is part of this politics. Plibo is part of the Republic. So Plibo people, they are always proud of people who have excelled in other areas, and they celebrate them. If somebody comes from Plibo, why should people try to put Plibo down? Plibo can never be down. So I see, these external forces, these are things that I would call auto-intoxication. These are not good things for the survivability of this country. This state should be a country full of people that will be able to meaningfully contribute so that this country will excel. But one cannot eat so much till that person has what I call sour belly. Sour belly politics is not necessary. Gluttony is a sin. So let us be able to take a little bite that will sustain us and let the next person take a bite. Plibo is part of this republic, and Plibo must be respected. This disrespect must stop. Wherever it comes from, it must stop. So I want to tell everybody, thanks on this day of Thanksgiving. Let us pray to God, because as He said, He will be able to carry the burden of all. And our burdens are not too heavy for God to make possibly the way to carry them. The chariot is ready, and I will say that we should share each other's burden. Today is Plibo. Plibo should never disappear, and it will never happen. So I want to thank everybody that let us all remain united, remain peaceful. This country should become safe and become prosperous, so that our rights and responsibilities can be properly balanced. And we who are in the same boat, let us not try to capsize the boat. Let's move together as a team. With team, we can achieve, with teamwork, we can achieve more. A house divided against itself cannot stand. If there are problems, they should not come from within. Let us build a society that will make us stronger. There's more that we can get by trying to support each other positively. Positivity is contagious. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks a lot, House Speaker Dr. Buffer Chambers. He says sour belly politics is not a way out, and so let's stop here and take out one or two calls.
Yes, I think it's important.
Yes, so
avoiding the crap mentality.
Yeah, please announce the numbers.
Well, let's get the numbers from
08805140960. 0770259660. Callers, put your points through quickly. We've been having House Speaker the Buffer Chambers via the line here, talking about building hope for the people of Plibo Sodican, of course, and telling us about those things anticipated during this third and final quarter of the sixth section. Let's go see this person calling us. 0770259660. The number to be a part 0770259660. Call us to be a part. Let's get this person calling. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the program.
And good evening to you and good evening to your colleagues in studio.
Yeah,
My
definitely.
name is Daniel Soda, joining from ELW in HKC Montserrat.
Please go ahead, Daniel.
Let me appreciate you guys for educating the public, because there are some people really gotta believe that the people will have in it. I think it is necessary that you come in today to make that clarity that the people still got work to do at the Capitol building until after the Constitution. So thank you, and thank you for the report of those legislations that they have passed over the time, the 54 legislatures. Even those who was not re-elected, I think history will remember them, and I want to appreciate every one of them in particular for their work they do.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. More of the calls coming in. This person. Hello.
Hello,
Let's hear you. Your name, where you call us from.
I'm Moses Nemo calling from East Street, Cinco.
Okay, please go ahead.
I listened to the exposition of the speaker. The last thing I have found with him is how better politics. When you got to know that, you will have no contest. But our former student leader, Anthony William, who have been a friend, massively things. And now you know that's how better politics. Wrong. But I differ with him seriously.
Okay, that's your right, my brother. You can differ with anybody. That's your right. This person on the line. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from.
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Jones.
Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I think this discussion is very, very important, and they create an awareness to the public and our officials of government, most especially the house of legislature. I think those legislatures that were not fortunate to be re-elected, I think they should give due diligence to their country that is represented over the town. It is not all over. I think they should be working with the elected lawmakers that will be taken over by January, so that those things that they did not or implement, some of them started here, but they did not implement, let it be implemented through the law, because through the recommendation, and that brings unity to the country. And I just want to commend the honorable speaker for his opinion. I think he is an educated individual, and you know the term of his leadership have ended, and this is not just
No, it's not ended, my brother. You say you told it here. You have not ended. This person on the line. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Please go ahead. Tell us the name, where you call from.
This is Ashley Jerry calling from Greenville, Sando County.
Ashley, great to have you on the line. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think, brother, you guys said thank you for the show first, and thank for all the lawmaker, and thank you for the report of the lawmaker. My brother, if our people could listen to the legislative report, I think we could make a difference by now. So thank to Dr. Buffer Chimo for an excellent statement for the people of Liberia and the people of Solikin District. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let's take more of the calls. This person hit the line. We'll take 2 or 3 more. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome. Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from.
This is G. Davis, the head of the disability in Sano.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate Honorable Buffer Chambers. You know, if it says we get people like Buffer Chambers that, you know, after the elections who called out, who do the SOS call to everybody to join the dynamic and energetic people of the country to see how best we can deliver the goods of the country. And I honor all my persons with disability across Southeastern region to see how best the government, to vote the government to see how best the Southeastern region can be benefit from the gestures for one day, for people kind of see Sano kind of or see Maryland as a paradise to kind of run here for making a base here. We must sustain the peace and must therefore be a peace. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks a lot. Let's take on this final one and close up. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Welcome to the program. Tell us the name, where you join us from.
Yeah, I'm Tony Potter Senior calling from the Old Road to be precise, Tatan community.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to thank you very much for the education you are giving Liberian people. But we also want to appeal that, most of our women, they don't understand the thing, they don't understand the English. So at least sometimes there should be someone there as a dollar person to give them the all A to A, because this is very much important for our society. Because people are going around saying that, a person there, you have to go there, why you going to do that again? They finish, they don't know it. And I want to thank Baba Chima for providing well too, so that people can know that if you leave position to see me, you're not part of anything. You're part of the society, you are Liberian. We should accept one another, because the mental will not be over until they say genuine. So let's just give a chance so things can go on peacefully, so we'll bring a beat for us. Thank you.
Well, thanks a lot. This one was just missing him. Hello?
Yeah,
Let's hear your name, where you call from.
Augustine beefing like driver, Plibo City, Miller County.
Okay, Augustine, please go ahead from Plebo.
Thank you so much for the program. These are things we expect from the all of the radio station around us here to give you an update. And not everybody will be opportune to go to the capital building. But once everything put up, we are living far from the area, at least that we can learn from what, so that we can know what is going on. Because people can come and mislead us.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you so much for the program. Thank you ever so much.
Thanks a lot, my dear brother. We have to wind down the curtains. Time is fast spent. Yega, you follow the course coming up for Liberians.
Yes, we'll be here on Thursday to talk more. But again, the 53rd is still active and running. 54th, sorry, is still active and running. There's no
Mr. Brantact, sorry, we can't take any more call. Mr. Brantact, so you can call us now. We can't take any more. The time fast spent, and of course, yes, it's been a wonderful conversation we had here on today, Thanksgiving Day, knowing fully well that the legislature of Liberia has adjourned, and reason being, we are going for a runoff election. We're counting 12 days to the runoff election slated for the 14th of November. And all the lawmakers will have to go to their respective constituencies and encourage their people. Of course, during the October 10, 2023 elections, there were too many invalid votes. Of course, they're not going to come to the people, talk to the people. More awareness is going to be done. How you go about to vote your candidate of your choice. This country belongs to all of us, Liberians, and so no one person is important than another person. In the process of the runoff, let us be able to exercise tolerance. Everybody cannot be on the same side. Respect your friend for his or her view, and let there be tolerance. This country will not retrogress. We are going for peace and peace forever. My name is Robert Hinston. Next time we'll be back here, we'll be on Thursday. We'll be telling you more activities from Up Capitol Hill and telling you about key legislations enacted by the Honorable House of Representatives. So again, a reminder, tomorrow, 10 o'clock at St. Moses Funeral Palace will be the funeral service of the Deputy Chief Clerk, Honorable J. Safford Jipley. Will be turning out there at St. Moses Funeral Parlors on tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning. Thanks to the entire Press and Public Affairs Department, our team, and dedicated staffers there.